Guys, I don't know where the heck that came from. I have no idea where what I saw tonight came from. I do not. 35-7 Washington, and the 7 was as garbage of a touchdown as you can get. So the Washington Huskies basically controlled the whole game, and the final score doesn't even really indicate by how much they controlled that game. And looking at the way the team played over the first 4 games, I thought I knew what this team was. I thought they were a team that might win the conference, a team that probably wouldn't make the playoff, and a team that would probably finish somewhere in the top 10, and that's about it. This team was different, guys. This looked like a team that could compete for the playoff, a team that should definitely win the conference. I don't know. I don't know where it came from, but the only way I can add it all together is to say BYU is garbage, and I don't think that's the case. That's the only way you can mesh what we saw in the first 4 games with what we saw tonight. It's the only way because we beat them better than we beat anybody we played this year, and it's not even close. Every other team, including honestly North Dakota, gave us more competition than that. And I know the final score doesn't necessarily reflect that, but I watched this game. I know who gave us more problems, and it was not BYU. And I don't know if what happened in Wisconsin earlier this year was a fluke. I don't know if their number 20 ranking coming into this game was a complete fluke and they're going to lose out and end up with like 4 wins or something, and we're going to be like, oh, they were just a shitty team. But based off the information I have right now, I can't say that. I have to sit here and say, wow, these guys might be better than I gave them credit for because I didn't think they could play that good offensively against a really good BYU team. And I know BYU was missing one of their best defensive players, so maybe that had something to do with it. It's just one player on defense, though. I'm not going to assume that was the only reason why this happened. I know BYU was also missing one of their best receivers. Again, I can't assume that's the only reason why this happened. This was such an ass kicking. Jake Browning was perfect out there, guys. I've never seen him play that good almost. I've never seen him have a game where, he was 2 completions short of a perfect game, 23 of 25. He was making plays down the field. He was checking it down. He was hitting guys over the middle for, little 5-yard, slant routes. He was doing it all. And for a guy like me who has been pessimistic about Browning this year, that was really good. That gives me faith that he can be more than just a good quarterback. Because tonight he was a great quarterback. He made every throw. He hit everything. His 2 incompletions were, they weren't even terrible throws. And if he can make decisions like that for the rest of the year, this team can win every game they play. The running game. Ahmed was our best running back. We haven't seen that much of Ahmed so far this season, but he got a little bit of the spotlight tonight, and he was excellent. 86 yards, 8.5 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Gaskin, great as always. Aaron Fuller might be his first ever 100-yard game, maybe his second, I don't know, but it was one of the best games of his career. Great touchdown by Drew Sample on a play where Browning somehow kept it alive and found probably his 4th or 5th read. Baselli had another good game too. Chico McClatcher, I don't know why he doesn't get the ball more often, but he got the ball once tonight and he turned it into a big play early in this game. The only thing on offense were the penalties on the offensive line. I think there were at least 4 penalties on the offensive line tonight. Holdings, at least 2 of them on the same guy. So he had a bit of a tough night dealing with a speed rusher. I know, but that was the only thing that kept this game from being like a 50 burger because we moved the ball on every offensive possession. We did not have any wasted offensive possessions, even when we didn't score. First drive of the game, we hit 2 20-yard plays. We look like we're moving, we're grooving, and then all of a sudden we just go backwards for a couple plays. We end up punting, but we're still showing that we can move the ball, and we know what we're doing against this defense. Drive right before the half. We drive down, get into 1st and goal, and end up missing a field goal. We still move the ball. We still show we can move the ball on them. We had another drive late in this game that ended in a missed field goal, still moved the ball. So we didn't have 3-and-outs or any really like shitty offensive drives with no production. Every time we got the ball, we were moving it down. So I didn't think they had it in them against a good BYU defense. This BYU defense has shown that they can play some football this year. So I count that as a real accomplishment, guys. 35 points, and it was not far away from being much, much more than that. I mean, missed 2 field goals, brick off a couple of drives that looked like they were going to end in touchdowns pretty easily. I don't know where it comes from. I mean, that offense had nothing in common with the offense I saw in the first 4 games. So maybe we got a little more than I thought. And the defense, I kind of expected this, but BYU had a little bit of success through the air. They converted some 3rd and longs, like I think 2 of them. They had 1 long play to Bushman, 1 long play to Katoa. I'm going off the top of my head with these names. I don't. A lot of BYU Cougars have weird names for whatever reason. They have a running back named Squally Canada. Squally Canada, which is kind of cool, actually. But other than those 2 big plays, they really had nothing going on. They couldn't run the ball. They weren't able to sustain any drives. Every time they got a drive going and picked up a couple first downs, there would be penalties. I mean, I complained about the penalties on our offensive line. They had a lot of penalties on their offensive line, too, that killed their drives. Or, they would fumble. They had 1 fumble in this game. They almost had a couple others. Or, they would just run a, screen pass that ended up going for no yards. They tried a lot of misdirection and trickery type stuff. None of it worked. We got pressure on the quarterback. Only thing is that we had the opportunity to force like 4 turnovers in this game. We only got the 1. Dropped a pick, didn't recover a fumble, got kind of an iffy call go against us when they reversed that fumble, which I thought was really close. It could have gone either way. And I'm not surprised that the defense played so good, but it felt good to see it combined with the offensive explosions. So I'm kind of reevaluating how I feel about this offense because, I mean, I guess you would say this team, but especially this offense. This was not what I planned to watch tonight at all, and I'm really happy about it because this team looks like they can go win the conference. It really does. Stanford got their ass kicked tonight, which is, great for our chances to beat them, but not so great for us to impress anybody if we do beat them. So I don't know how to feel about that yet. We'll see. But this is a game that should get us well easily into the top 10. I mean, Penn State lost tonight. Stanford went down hard tonight. So I think we have a really good chance of squeaking back into the top 8, maybe. I don't know. And there isn't much to complain about in this one, guys. Just where was that to start this season? We might be number 3 in the nation right now if we had played like that from week 1. So maybe we'll find out about BYU later, but for the moment, as I stand here, BYU seems like a credible opponent that we just beat into the ground. And again, I'm reevaluating. Great game. Got the win. Next week we take on the 0-4 UCLA Chip Kelly Bruins. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they're not playing well over there. It seems weird to me that a Chip Kelly team can be playing that bad. But I'll review the situation. I'll have a pregame video for that when it's time for me to make a pregame video. But wow. Could not ask for much more than that. I mean, you have to pick nits to find problems with this game. You really, really have to dig deep. You have to get mad at the field goal kicker who did miss 2 relatively easy field goals. But you got to dig. And, yeah. All right, NFL action tomorrow. Y'all will be seeing me after the Seahawks game for sure. It's going to be fun. But the weekend of football is off to a good start. And bow down to Washington. Mariners won too, by the way, so we might get to 89 wins. All comes down to tomorrow. All right, peace.